My name is Sandra Madufo. I am making this video testimony from the city of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. So, Pastor Jerry, I am that woman that the Lord has shown great mercy. I have been on the altar of fire since September 2020. In fact, my first miraculous conception was birthed through this altar. And I also gave my testimony. Now, fast forward to me having my second child. I got pregnant with my second child a year and few months after my first baby. The pregnancy was a smooth one. I didn't have any issue until 8 months. And that day, I can remember I had a distress call, and after the call, I started bleeding. And then afterwards, I was asked to go to the hospital to check where the bleeding was coming from, and I was diagnosed of placenta previa, which automatically meant that I wasn't going to give birth to my child through vaginal delivery. So I was booked for cesarean section at 38 weeks. Getting there, I had already prayed. I trusted God for a successful delivery, because Pastor Jerry will always say that no woman pregnant that belongs to this altar of fire that will die while bringing forth their children.
No pregnant woman will die in their pregnancy. Any complication in your pregnancy, I announce, let it be reversed by fire.
So that wasn't a problem for me. My faith was strong. And after the surgery, everything was fine. Baby was fine. I was fine. After 3 days, I was asked to start eating as normal. Anyone that undergoes a cesarean section will understand what I'm saying. And so on that third day, my sister made a pepper soup for me and I ate just a little. But afterwards, I noticed my tummy started protruding for some reason. I don't know why. It continued until a few hours later, it became so big and so discomforting. I began to pace around. I was gasping for breath. I didn't know what happened. My sister, the people around me were all confused. My sister called on the doctor, and the doctor came and was asking me if I had eaten earlier before now. I'm like, no, I wouldn't have done that. Now the doctors decided to find a way to remedy the situation by perforating one side of my tummy, and they passed a pipe through my nostril down to my throat to my stomach in order to see if they could drain the fluid from my stomach. And then after that perforation of my tummy and the insertion through my nose, nothing was happening. A little fluid was coming out from the bag they put through that pipe on my nose, but it wasn't solving anything. I was still feeling very bloated and I was almost losing my breath. Fast forward to the next day, being the 4th day after the cesarean section, I was booked for another surgery to see if there's any way they could remedy the situation, because at that point I wasn't having it. I had gone into the theater, I had said my prayers, I had declared the words I've gotten from the altar of fire, and I told God, as I'm walking into the theater alive, I'm going to come out alive and they will sort this whole thing out. Pastor Jerry, little did I know that the devil had other plans. The surgery started. The doctor said the moment they got in for that second surgery and they administered the anesthetic injection, that I passed away, that my oxygen level was 0, pulse 0, everything, the life left me, the life in me left me, and they couldn't fathom it, because how? They hadn't even started the surgery. I died, Papa, I died. But my Elroy, the one that sees me, the one that had given me 2 girls, 2 children to take care of, and a good husband and loved ones around me, did not let that story end the way the devil planned it. Papa, I actually died in that second surgery. And the doctors were narrating this whole thing. They were telling my husband, do you know your wife actually died in the theater? We don't know what happened after the injection we administered. She passed away, and we tried all we could. We were just there watching, not knowing what happened. I thought maybe that was the end of the whole thing. But Papa, it didn't end there. After a few days, I was supposed to be recovering from that second surgery, only for one of the doctors to come around and then check the incision site to see how it was sealing up. And then he noticed that the site has been infected massively, Papa. I couldn't understand it. Now, they started giving me antibiotics. The strongest one, that was the one they recommended, Meronin. Anyone in medical field will know how much Meronin cost as at June, July last year. I was taking Meronin like 3 times in a week, like the small carton my husband will buy. Before you know it, it will get exhausted. I wasn't eating. I was always on drip. There's this particular drip they call B combo. They will give me that drip. A packet of it is around 60 to 70,000 as at then. Papa, I took this drip more than 7 packs, and not to mention the antibiotics I took, that a pack of it at then was around 250,000. That antibiotic, I took nothing less than 15 cartons, if I'm not exaggerating, Papa, or more. My husband kept spending money. They were treating the sepsis it looks like everything was against me. But one thing that did not leave me was the word of God. The word of God and the confidence I have in the word of God, and knowing fully whether I was on the altar of fire, I kept playing NSPPD every morning. Papa, but something again happened. Few days later, one of the doctors came and then checked me again, and the doctor was like, who are the people that are taking care of this incision site? At this point, she was supposed to be getting better, right? So the doctor checked and saw something else, and then the doctor, with the way the doctor's face was, I knew something had gone wrong again. And my husband, she called my husband outside because he's a female doctor, and my husband stepped out with the woman only for her to come back, because she was asking me before she left, Mother, have you gone to the toilet? I said no. Have you farted? I said no. Only for her to come back with my husband, and then they broke the bad news to me, Papa. They broke the bad news to me. They told me that in that second, at the course of the second surgery, they had punctured my intestine. Now, the meaning is that I couldn't be able to excrete through my anus for a while until the situation was corrected. They had punctured my intestine, and feces were now coming out through my tummy, through the incision site. Papa, I never knew there's something called fistula. I think they call it something cutaneous fistula. I can't remember the name, but that was the first time I heard that condition. I was always praying, trusting God, hoping that one day my case will be mentioned. But on that particular day, they found out this thing. They told my husband that they were going to take me in for another surgery the next day, meaning that I'm going to have 3 surgeries in 5 days. Papa, at that point, I wasn't having it. I told them to allow me. I told my husband to check me out of that hospital to General Hospital, because we were in a private hospital. I told him to please, that if he wants me to stay alive, he should just take me out of this hospital. And my husband did. He transferred me to General Hospital. On getting there, they saw the situation, and they were like, they're going to give me some conditions that if I don't meet up to those conditions, that I will definitely go in for the third corrective surgery. And I told them I wasn't going for any surgery. I believe God, that God was going to help me through this process. They said they should start feeding me with so much protein. Mind you, I was excreting from the tummy. And now, because of the condition I had, the moment I'm eating, the whole thing, I'm losing all that food through my stomach, both digested and undigested one. So what it then means is that if I don't eat, I die. I have to eat. Despite the fight, I was discharging the food through my stomach. I discharge about 80% of what I eat, then my body works with the 20%. But I had to eat to stay alive. Every time I tried to excrete, I couldn't. They will be coming out from my tummy, fluid. When I sleep in the night, my body gets messed up. My sister will wake up. When she sees me trying to clean myself up, she will just, get angry with me. Why didn't I wake her up? She will unwrap the whole things they wrapped in my tummy, the ganji. She will unwrap me, clean me up, remove the mat on the bed and replace another one. That was how I was living, Papa, for a while. For almost 2 months, I was in this situation. I was trusting God for healing. But I told them I wanted God to do it. I'm tired of going there and having them open me down and up and down. And I was tired. I even told my husband to travel all the way to Abuja. Since he hasn't mentioned my case yet, that he should travel to Abuja to see if he can see you one-on-one. He came twice, but he didn't see you. He prayed NSPPD with you all in Abuja that day, but he didn't get the opportunity to see you. But he bought some mantles and brought back for me in the hospital. I said, this is part of the mantle, this one, and some other bangles, and then the mantle, the small towel mantle. I still shared it with some of the patients around me in the hospital there. I was always crying and praying and trusting God that you mentioned my case. I never stopped joining the altar of fire. I kept praying, I kept crying. Some nights I will wake up, I will keep calling the God of Pastor Jerry, you're going to heal this my intestine. But on that fateful morning, Papa, on that fateful morning, while I was on the altar of fire, Papa, you just called. He said, fistula, every fistula be reversed.
The healing power of God is reaching out to every fistula, to every fistula. If you are the one, put it on the live stream and say, I am the one. Fistula, we command, be reversed by fire.
Papa, I jumped out of my bed, not minding I was having so many things on my stomach with the poo-poo, everything. I just jumped out from my bed. I told my sister, that's my case. This is my case. Papa, I mentioned my case and my sister jumped. Everybody was just jumping, thanking God. I was shouting, what God cannot do does not exist. What God cannot do does not exist. I was shouting with everything. Papa, sometimes I would be smelling like you can't stay around me. My sister would just rush. The moment she noticed that I was smelling, she just rushed and cleaned me up. Remember, I hadn't gone to the toilet by myself. I was always excreting through the stomach. Papa, I screamed, and from that day you mentioned my case, everything started turning around. Papa, at the end of the day, to cut the long story short, my intestine that was perforated sealed up on its own. I was able to start pulling by myself, pulling through my endos. I came when the doctor said that they were going to take me for the third surgery, and they were going to insert a colostomy bag that I will be excreting through from my stomach. They will put the bag and I will carry it for a while before they will not know if the time was okay for them to do this third surgery. Papa, God averted all that for me. God healed my intestine by himself. Through the word of God from this altar and from the word of God from your mouth, Papa Jerry, God sealed up a perforated intestine. God healed me of that ulcer in that hospital. Papa, God made me to start excreting the normal way I was excreting all along. Papa, God healed me completely. God reversed every situation that came up as a result of that condition, fistula. Papa, today I am home. The doctors were shocked. Even some of the doctors from the private hospital, some of them came visiting in UPTH to know who is this woman? Who is this woman that God has been following her case? And one of those days, the doctor came and said, Mother, I will come for your testimony. Papa, they were shocked. One of the women there was asking me, Mother, who are you? I said, I'm nobody. I'm just a woman that the Lord has shown mercy. Papa, today my baby is 1 year plus and I am here hale and hearty. Papa, this is me that my baby was so big before. Look at me, Papa. I am so fine now. God has healed me completely. And I am just here to say thank you, Pastor Jerry, for answering the call of God upon your life. Papa, my posters would have been everywhere and I would have left my two beautiful children with my husband and my loved ones, but mercy said no on my account. Papa, thank you. Thank you for being the sacrificial lamb. Thank you. I don't blame people when they say they don't believe the testimonies on this altar because it's too unbelievable, Pastor. God healed me. I am that woman the Lord remembered. I say it again, and to every ear that cares to listen, that what God cannot do does not and will never exist.